understand that part of the beauty and appeal of getting flowers is their ephemeral nature. That being said, you want them to last as long as possible, right? Well, I am going to be testing the internet's most frequently suggested bouquet life extending methods. Okay. It is February 5th. I have indeed bought myself flowers. Say hello to our beautiful contestants. So I ended up buying individual bundles of like a singular type of flower. That was the most affordable way to go about this, but also was the only way to get 5 of somewhat the same bouquet, so we can test this as evenly as possible. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because like the chrysanthemums have already opened. They are definitely, this is going to be the only day that they're pretty, I kind of feel like. But then up here, you probably don't even know who she is. It's a lily. I'm very interested to see how this will impact which flowers open when, who's dying quickly, who's looking sad sooner, all that good stuff. At the store, all these flowers like had their flower names on the packaging, which makes sense, right? But then one of them just said accent flowers, which is not specific. That is not what a botanist named them. So I felt like that was disrespectful, so I bought them so I could put some respect on their name. These are Solidago flowers, so if you see these flowers around, give them some love. Now here's the thing. There are some seemingly indisputable best practices when it comes to a bouquet. Bouquet? So I'm going to be doing those things for all of them to give every method their best chance of success. They really aren't hacks. These are not secrets. These are not recently discovered. They're just good things to do. The rules of thumb are: 1. Wash the vase before you put the flowers in. 2. Cut the stems before putting them in water at a 45-degree angle. Cutting the stems at a 45-degree angle, not putting the flowers in at a 45-degree angle. And recut every time you replace the water. 3. Change the water every other day. And 4. Remove leaves that are below the water line. I'm going to introduce you to every method that we've got represented today. Alright, so in 1, we've got plain old water. In 2, the flower food that comes with the packet. In 3, we've got a penny with a pinch of sugar. This has been suggested to me before, like in the world, in real life, not just on the internet, but I've not heard it with the pinch of sugar thing, so that's interesting. Something to do with the pH balance. 4, bleach, the weeest bit of bleach, but bleach nonetheless. And 5, aspirin, again, pH balance, I think. So those are our contestants. This is day 1. We'll check in tomorrow. We are 24 hours in, and everyone looks kind of equally okay. I will say I was pretty concerned about the chrysanthemums. They look fine thus far, but I feel like I've had chrysanthemums in bouquets before, and they have just utterly rot from the middle, so we'll see how that goes. None of the lilies have opened yet. After this, I realized this was not a good way to show bouquet progress, so I took them outside after this, so don't you worry about it. I got these roses for a different project, actually. I stuck the leftover roses in some of the bouquets that just needed a little extra love. And boy, they look sad, so I'm not gonna use that as a knock against any of these arrangements. All in all, 24 hours in, everyone is looking happy and healthy. Alright, we're outside in the sunshine now. First was the water method. Everyone was looking good. No one looked wilty. Everyone's petals looked healthy. No one's leaves looked sad or crunchy. Just, yeah, pretty standard. And next was the flower food method. Also looking pretty chill. Again, these first 48 hours were not the point of concern. The penny bouquet also looked plenty happy. When I picked up the one with the bleach in it, I smelled bleach. It's not that walking by it hit me, but certainly when I picked it up to take it outside, I was like, oh, yep, this is the bleach one. In case I ever forget, this is the bleach one. So the aspirin lilies were the first ones to start opening. One of them started opening at the 48-hour mark. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because like you do want them to all open eventually, but too soon and you'd think they're gonna die sooner. So I kind of can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. By the end of the day, the aspirin lily had fully opened. And then of course it was already time to change the water, and we cut all the stems, which is by no means a big deal when you have one bouquet, but I had 5, so it did actually take some time. I also noticed that some of the leaves were a little crunchy. Day 4, I woke up to the lovely view of some opened up lilies. Day 4, the normal tap water bouquet is looking happy healthy. Then we go to flower food. There's like a little bit of wiltiness on some of the leaves, but nothing significant. The penny bouquet actually looked quite happy. It looked like it was in a good mood. The bleach one was starting to show some aging. One of the flowers a little bit started to die, but it was just one of a couple, so I don't know if that signifies anything. Then the aspirin bouquet, as soon as I took it outside, was visited by a bee. A bee just flew onto my flowers while I was trying to get the video. What are you doing, sir? You're fucking massive. Good lord. This bee is huge. I'm gonna have to literally leave these flowers outside. God damn it. Sir. Sir. Well, maybe that's a ringing endorsement. Ah! Okay, bye. Don't come back, please. Okay. Well, so nature really gave an endorsement on this one. The morning of day 5 is when I realized that the solidagos may actually be the key in how to interpret this. They are going to be our flower cipher, because in some of the bouquets, they look happy, and others they look like closed up and dead and sad, or even at the bottom look crispy. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Looking at our tap water contestant, for the most part looking pretty good, except the roses are really starting to show some aging. Flower food also looking happy for the most part, but showing some wilting on the roses. The flowers are so happy with their penny and sugar. Again, bleach not looking encouraging. Ooh. But also not looking terrible, like not significantly bad. But compared to the other girls, not looking great. Aspirin was looking great except for the solidagos. Like the lilies are looking amazing, the roses are looking pretty good, but the solidagos are looking ratty. Tap water, looking happy, looking healthy, which thank goodness, because that's literally like the cheapest solution. The roses didn't look really any worse than they did the day prior. I will say there were some very crunchy leaves at this point. Flower food looked happy, roses looked okay. I mean, the mums looked happy, the Gerber daisy looked happy. No one is sad that they are in the flower food. Penny's still looking great, holding on strong. The bleach doesn't look any worse, except maybe like the pink rose looks, I guess, a little sadder. And the aspirin looks good. Once again, it was time to change all the water and cut all the stems. There was some wear and tear on the roses and the tap water, and the mum was just looking a little tired. Also the lily. solidago starting to get that kind of rotted look. Didn't look bad though. Flower food was looking chipper, I can't deny it. The penny was a mixed bag because some of the flowers looked great, but then the roses really looked grumpy. These were probably some of the worst roses that day. The roses just looked like they lost a fight or something, I don't know. Bleach didn't look any worse except for that pink rose, but I'm trying not to calculate those in too much. Aspirin, the dying solidago really makes it so depressing. But the lilies look so happy, oh my goodness. Day 8, I documented all my flowers on a particularly windy day. The main change in the tap water bouquet at this point was in these green flowers. I actually don't know what they're called, but their leaves looked yellowed and browned and crunchy. The flowers looked okay, but they were definitely also showing a little bit of browning. And that one lily keeps wilting and the other finally opened, but does not look like it's opening excitedly. It looks scared to be here. Flower food once again looking good. I feel like I'm accidentally also figuring out which flowers maybe do better or worse in a bouquet, just in general. In this penny bouquet, I could not get over how just lush and amazing this one chrysanthemum was. I wanted to like hold it in my hand, but that would not have made it happy. Again, those roses were not great. Every other flower in that bouquet looked happy, except for the roses. They still looked just a little tired. Some of the flowers really showed a browning on the edges, kind of like in middle school if you did a project and you like burned the edges to make the paper look old and you'd like dye it in the tea to like simulate old paper or whatever. That's kind of how some of the flowers looked, especially in the bleach bouquet. Aspirin was doing all right. One of the flower heads had fallen over, but I do think that was a me problem in transport, so I am not going to put that on the aspirin. This was the last day that I documented. You were really seeing it in the roses, in these little green flowers. Not everything was looking bad in the tap water vase, but definitely they were on the struggle bus. Flower food still looking good. There's a couple that are really starting to wear down, but for the most part, this bouquet still looks pretty great. The penny bouquet also looks really good. Again, lilies and roses are our sad girls. Bleach kind of stayed the course on those last couple of days. Like, I feel like it aged a little quicker, but then it did not continue aging. It reached a stasis. Aspirin, I don't know, just looked a little melty. It looked like it had just started to melt a little. Okay, conclusion. What are my findings? What would I suggest for you? So from what I saw, the flower food that comes with a bouquet seems to be a pretty solid option. And if you're buying flowers at a grocery store or presumably from a florist, they're probably going to give that to you, so you already have it. However, they're only giving you one packet of flower food a lot of the time. And if you're supposed to change out the water every 2 days, you're gonna run out of flower food. So it seems like a good thing to do once you run out is to then switch over to the penny and a little bit of sugar method, because I feel like that did really good. I feel like that really kept pace with the flower food. Maybe the sugar is the thing that feeds it. Maybe it changes the pH balance. I don't know. It's not my job to understand why it works. It's just my job to test it. None of these were a resounding no, I feel like. Although, why do you want to be messing with bleach? I do not want to interact with bleach if I don't have to, and it did make me a little nervous every time I was changing out the water. It kind of stressed me out. I will say though, I know this sounds so annoying, but like, I don't always know where I can find a penny. That is not something that I just have lying around. I don't have loose change just anywhere. I have my Aldi quarter, of course, precious commodity. But yeah, I don't just have pennies all over the place. So with that in mind, I think you're better off with tap water. I don't know. I feel like the aspirin, but the B went up to the aspirin one. Don't do the bleach. If you're thinking bleach, no, just do tap water. Tap water is fine. But yeah, take good care of your flowers. Tell your flowers I said hi.